Bande aham Shri Guru Shri Judapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Urupam Shagarajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vidangdang Shajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Shaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shibishakang Vidangscha Om Jnana Timirandasha Jnananjana Shalakaya Chokshush Unmilitang Jaina Tashmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Pracharyane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desha Tarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Vrindavan, August 4, 1974. When Prabhupada's car pulled up at the ISKCON property in Ramanreti, a group of devotees greeted him with kirtan and flowers. Some 25 devotees from temples around the world had already gathered for the grand opening celebration. And along with the Vrindavan devotees, they crowded happily around Srila Prabhupada. No formal walkways had been constructed, and Prabhupada walked through the half-constructed walls, past piles of sand and bricks, making his way toward the deity house. Even here, the lack of ornamentation and finishing was apparent, and rubble lay all around. What is this? Srila Prabhupada demanded. As he toured I'll repeat that. What is this? Srila Prabhupada demanded as he toured the construction site. What is this? There is nothing here. Where is the temple? You told me the temple was finished. Guru Das, Surabhi, Gunarnava, and others directly responsible were unable to answer. Their faces went white. Prabhupada was furious. How can you open this? The visiting devotees also began speaking amongst themselves. It's not ready. How can we open? But Prabhupada, said one devotee, devotees from all over the world are coming. Prabhupada had burst the bubble, the illusion that they would be ready for the grand opening. Prabhupada's anger was frightening. And the devotees who surrounded him were no longer carefree and joyful. You were going to open this temple? Prabhupada scoffed. The altar is ready, said Harikesh, who had come from Japan to attend the opening. We can install the deity and you cannot open this temple. Prabhupada shouted. This temple is not completed. Prabhupada then walked into his house, followed by the Vrindavan managers and a few other leaders. Whoever could keep his distance from Prabhupada in this mood considered himself spared. Surabhi's wife ran off to pray to Krishna, afraid of Prabhupada's ferocity. In his room, Prabhupada's anger only increased. He yelled at Guru Das for mismanagement. He yelled at Surabhi. He yelled at all of them. No one dared to offer suggestions or excuses. There was nothing to do but turn white and become depressed. Prabhupada suddenly inquired whether the temple could be opened despite the mess. Can you have the deity rooms ready? At least. He turned to Surabi. This is an insult to our society. What will people think? We have announced it everywhere. It's interesting when we reflect on Srila Prabhupada's comment that this is an insult to our society. Sometimes we hear Prabhupada describe that, from my point of view, I'm happy to sit under a tree. And actually in Mayapur, Prabhupada did live in very simple circumstances. We've heard from His Grace Bhavananda Prabhu that after Prabhupada's rooms in Mayapur, in the Lotus building, which was the first building, sometimes you can see the videos of Mayapur in those early days. And the Lotus building is the only building in the whole area. There's nothing in between a Lotus building and Yoga Pit. Just rice fields. Prabhupada would walk. There's nothing. Rice fields and farmers, and buffalo, and cows. That's it. A few farmers in gumshoes. That was Mayapur. And so after building of course, the transcendental nature is of course there, but in terms of the development, and Prabhupada, after completing the Lotus building, then Bhavananda Prabhu said to Prabhupada, so shall we remove, the Bhajan Kutir was still there, Bhajan Kutir. And so Bhavananda Prabhu asked Prabhupada, shall we remove the Bhajan Kutir now, Srila Prabhupada? As they were standing outside the Bhajan Kutir. And then Prabhupada said no. He said, let it remain. And then in front of the Bhajan Kutir, he turned, His Grace Bhavananda Prabhu described this to me personally. This is some further consolidation of the place which has been selected for the temple of Vedic planetarium, its position, why it's in that place. This is one reason that Bhavananda Prabhu presented. That as Prabhupada stood outside in front of the Bhajan Kutir, he said, no, let it remain. And then with a graceful gesture of his arm, he pointed in the direction of where is now the temple of Vedic planetarium, and he said, let the people see how we began and what we have become. With a graceful gesture indicating the area where the TOVP is now being constructed. Let them see how we began and what we have become. So Prabhupada was quite content, quite satisfied, living and performing his bhajan and worship in the Bhajan Kutir. And therefore it remains as a very sacred place. You can visit Srila Prabhupada's Bhajan Kutir. So from Prabhupada's personal point of view, he's very satisfied in a very simple circumstance. Actually at that time, Bhajan Kutir, that means that there's no floor. There's no cement or marble floor. The floor is clay. Clay. This actually is the Vedic style, a village life, and the whole area every day is purified with the gobur, cow dung, on the mati. Actually, it has a major effect on your consciousness if you are constantly in contact with the natural mati, and particularly Gauramandal Bhumi. As Narottam Das Thakur sings that Sri Gauda Mandala Bhumi Jai Bhajane Chintamani Tada Hoy Braja Bhumi Bas Tada Hoya Braja Bhumi Bas. So one who understands that the Gauda Mandal Bhumi, the Bhumi means the earth, of Gauda Mandal, the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and he performed his various transcendental pastimes. One who, Sri Gauda Mandala Bhumi Jaiba Jane Chintamoni, those who understand that this is spiritual, Chintamoni, Chintamoni, the touchstone, transcendental touchstone, Chintamoni, the jewel which is transcendental. So the land of Gauda, the Bhumi, is transcendental. It is eternal. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates are eternally manifest and eternally performing their Sankirtan pastimes in the Sri Mayapur Dham. We have to gradually, as we practice the Harir Bhajan, we have to gradually awaken to and realize the Nitya Lila, the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, are constantly being performed. And as the devotee purifies his consciousness and senses, then he can witness the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. A couple of days ago, we were describing here about Srila Vyasadeva, how Narad Muni ordered Vyas that Urukama Shakala Bandhamuktaya Samadina Anushmara Tadvichestitam, that because you're so eminently qualified, you have the capacity to Samadin Anushmara. Samadin Anushmara means to constantly meditate. Samadin Anushmara. Anushmara. To constantly meditate. To constantly see Urukama Shakala Bandhamuktare, the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. All of our Shastras are mystical revelations. Mystical revelations. Generally, when we consider the term Shastra, it has a very legitimate and authoritative connotation. The Shastra, that which guides, that which rules, the Shastra. There is no discussion. There is no questioning the Shastra. Actually, our Shastras in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, our Shastras are all mystical revelations. They're mystical revelations. The whole of the Srimad Bhagavatam is the mystical meditation of Srila Vyasadeva. Urukama Shakala Bandha Muktaya Samadina Anushmaratat Vichestitam. You can meditate constantly on the variegated Vichestitam, the variegated pastimes of Lord Hari and his various incarnations. And such detail. And as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Bed Vyas Chaitanya Lila Vyas Vrindavan Das. So that same Srila Vyasadeva, he appeared again, just like a couple of days ago we were explaining, Vyasadeva is still present in his ashram in the Himalayas, and Madhvacharya 700 years ago he went 2 times and learnt from Vyasadeva. And Vyasadeva also appeared Chaitanya Lila Vyas Vrindavan Das as Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. And similarly, the detailed descriptions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela in the Chaitanya Bhagavat are mystical revelations of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. In fact, originally Chaitanya Bhagavat was entitled, the original title was the Chaitanya Mongol. Chaitanya Mongol. However, the Vaishnav community, they conferred the name Chaitanya Bhagavat onto the literary compilation, indicating that it is non-different from the Bhagavat. It is the Chaitanya Bhagavat, written by the same author. And if you're interested to research the various pramanas or the various evidences from which Vrindavan Das Thakur acquired the information. You can do epistemological study, and you can determine from where Vrindavan Das Thakur acquired all of the information. And he explains himself, where he got the detailed information of the Chaitanya Bhagavat. He says that Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Nityananda Ram, whose Avirbhav Titi Mahotsav, tomorrow we are celebrating, he said, he's sitting in my heart, and he is dictating to me all of these pastimes. And this is the epistemology of the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Lord Nityananda told him everything from within the heart, and he's simply describing. Similarly, one time the devotees saw Srila Prabhupada reading his books, Prabhupada reading his own books, and the devotees were rather bemused by that. And they said, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, you wrote the books, and now you're reading the books. And Prabhupada said, I simply wrote down what Krishna personally dictated to me. So this is Krishna's teachings in Prabhupada's books. And thus, because of the incomparable, immeasurable purity of Srila Prabhupada, his qualification, his transparency, just like there's different types of mediums that can conduct electricity, iron, steel, but the most, which has the most conductivity is copper. You see many copper wires, because it's very pure. So everything is a matter of degree. And according to the purity of the devotee, the Lord will reveal himself in the heart. And in this way we can see Prabhupada's immeasurable purity, incomparably exalted, that Krishna was able to manifest his full potency through Srila Prabhupada's writings. And thus, as Bhagavatam explains, Tadvag Bisharga, this creation, Tadvag, these words of Srimad Bhagavatam, Tadvag Bisharga, Janataga Viplava. They can cause a viplav. A viplav means a revolution. Jana taga, in the sinful, the jana, the people who are aga, who are sinful. The common sinful society. These words of Srimad Bhagavatam, they can create a revolution. They can change your life. And the evidence of Srila Prabhupada's exalted purity is seen in that wherever his books are distributed throughout the planet, multitudes of people, of sinful people, change their lives and become pure servants and worshippers of Sri Krishna. So Prabhupada's mentioning here that it will be a great insult. It will be a great insult. We know that Kali Juge Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. Kali Juge Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. In the Kali Yuga, the incarnation, or the Lord incarnates in the form of his name. Nam Hoite Hoi Sarva Jagata Nishtar. The whole universe can be delivered by taking the name. And Narottam Das Thakur sings that Jai Gauranga Namaloy Tara Hoy Premudoy Tare Mui Jai Boli Hari Tare Mui Jai Boli Hari. And Prabhupada translates Jai Boli Hari as being super excellent. Prabhupada's translation of Jai Boli Hari, that means super excellent. Jai Gauranga Namaloy, those who take the name of Gauranga, Tada Hoy Premudoy, in their hearts love of Krishna, Udoy arises as a result of taking the name of Gauranga. Tare Mui Jai Boli Hari, to those people, Narottam Das Thakur says, so super excellent, super excellent. So the holy name is actually the essential element in the deliverance of the conditioned souls in the Kali Yuga. Vyasabhata also writes that Kalir dosha nidhi rajan. Dosha nidhi. Nidhi means the ocean. And the Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. It's an ocean of faults. Everything is compromised. There's no pure Brahmins. There's no authorized Kshatriyas. Nowadays, the chief executives of the government, they're not leading the armies into battle, as is the actual principle of leadership in Vedic culture. Soryam, Teja, Dhriti, Daksham, Jute, Chapi, Apalayanam. Krishna is explaining the qualities of a leader in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Soryam, they're heroic. Tejas, they're very powerful. Dhriti, very determined. Daksham, they're very expert. Judhe, Chapi, Apalayanam, and they're very much inclined to battle, and they're not a coward. Prabhupada comments that it's very embarrassing if the Kshatriya is wounded on the backside. Wounded on the back. In other words, he's fleeing. Comes back with a wound on the backside. No, he's wounded on the front side. And the example Prabhupada gives of Yasamanta Sen, one great general, and he was a Kshatriya, and he went off to battle, and he was defeated. And he came back to the palace, and he saw that the palace doors were closed. So he sent a message to the security, tell Rani that Yasamanta Raja has returned, and open the palace doors. So the security, the guards, they sent the message off to the queen, Yasamanta Sen's queen, and the reply came back, oh, some person who has been defeated in battle has returned here. Keep the doors closed, because this person must be an imposter. Because my husband, the king, Yasamanta Sen, he's a Kshatriya. So there's two options. Either he defeats his opponents in battle, or he lays down dead on the battlefield. So this person who's been defeated and has returned from the battlefield must be an imposter, not my husband. Don't let him in. Prabhupada comments, this is the spirit of the Kshatriyas. But where is the Kshatriya like that today? Nowadays, you don't even face the enemy. You just send a drone in to kill them. And the soldiers are miles and miles away in a safe bunker just with their gadget. You don't even face the enemy. Or you go into the restaurant and you just blow up people that have nothing to do with the battle. You blow them up. The Kshatriya standard is that before the battle, you have to announce, oh, you who are the bereft ashes of your dynasty, stand and face me, and we will fight, and today I will send you to the abode of Yamaraj. You have to verbally challenge the opponent. Stand and face me, or else surrender. You have to give them an opportunity. That's like when you see in the movies when the police, they surround the warehouse. They can't just go in there and open fire. They have to, on the loudspeaker, make an announcement. This is the Mumbai police. You are surrounded. Put your weapons down and come out with your hands up. Now, if they don't do that, then later during the court case, the criminals can say, well, I didn't know it was the police. So this is the Kshatriya spirit. You have to announce, you have to challenge. And in this way, well, where is the Kshatriya like that today? Where is the Brahmin who is simply subsisting upon the dakshina, which is given without solicitation? You can go to the websites and see the big Brahmins are there with the beards and the earrings and big thick Brahmin threads. And then you can click on the various links, this puja, destroy your enemies. This puja, solve your health problems. This puja, academic qualifications. This puja, find a good spouse. Put in your credit card details. Right? This is compromise the Brahminical principles. The Brahman, he offers his wisdom free of cost, and out of appreciation of the contribution received, the various recipients of the Brahminical wisdom and advice, they give contributions unsolicited, because sattvam sanjayate jnanam, that yadricha labashantushta, the symptom of the mode of goodness, which is the standard qualification of the Brahman, symptom of the mode of goodness, santushto, is that he's satisfied. Because he has knowledge, has no understanding that bunjana evatma kritam vipakam, my current situation is simply a result of my previous activities. Bunjana evatma kritam vipakam, the fruits of my previous activities. So no need to put so much effort in trying to improve my situation, because it is my allotment as a result of previous lives' activities. So he has, because of his development of knowledge, he's not busy, simply devoted to trying to improve his material situation, because he understands that he has an allotment of karmas that bunjana have to be endured. And this way he's satisfied. Doesn't become preoccupied or diverted with trying to improve the material situation, but simply in whatever situation he finds himself in, worships Lord Hari. And these types of qualifications, these qualities are very, very rare to see in the Kali Yuga. It's a Kale dosha nidhe. It is an ocean of fault. Even the leaders are compromised. The priests, the administrative heads, they're compromised. What to speak of the common people that we don't expect advanced qualities from. So dosha nidhe, it's an ocean of fault. You cannot enumerate, you cannot count the disqualifications of Kali Yuga. Ashti eka mahagunai, but there's eka mahagun. There's one good quality, according to Vyas Muni. Ashti eka mahagunai. There's one good thing about the Kali Yuga. Kirtanad eva Krishna sha. Simply by chanting in kirtan the names of Krishna, kirtanad eva Krishna sha, mukta sangha, then you can get liberated from the impurity, from the contamination, mukta sangha, the sangha, the association of all of the bad qualities of Kali Yuga. You can get delivered from that. You can transcend that, mukta sangha, param brujet, and attain the supreme destination, kirtanad eva Krishna sha. Certainly by chanting the name of Krishna. But it's interesting to note that Vyas Muni writes that there's one good quality. But we see in this Srila Prabhupada Leela that Srila Prabhupada was very determined and very encouraged and very inspired to build temples all over the world, in addition to the one glorious activity of spreading the holy name. Prabhupada not only distributed the Mahamantra on every continent of the planet and gave the transcendental wisdom of the Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna Upadesh in Bhagavad Gita and Prabhupada's transcendental books, which are described as the Bhagavat Marg, the Marga of hearing and chanting, where we chant Hare Krishna and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed in his teachings to Srila Sanatana Goswami, that Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Saddha Kabunai Shraban Adi Shuddha Chitte Kuraya Udoy. The principal item, the principal activity of awakening your love of God is hearing. Shraban Adi means foundationally by hearing. Shraban Adi Shuddha Chitte. The chitta, the heart, becomes shuddha, it becomes purified. Kuraya Udoy. And the result of the purified heart is that your eternal love of Krishna, your eternal relationship with Krishna becomes revealed. Love of Krishna arises in the heart predominantly as a result of hearing and chanting. So why did Prabhupada take the effort to open these temples? Actually, Mahaprabhu, in his pastimes, we see the circumstances were different, and there was not a major emphasis on opening temples. Mahaprabhu and his followers. On occasion, the Goswamis, they were given donations, and with those donations, they utilized those in constructing the Goswami temples in Vrindavan. But they weren't sending collection parties out here and there to raise funds to build temples. Transcendental commandos with the specific objective of collecting funds in various means, by various means. Prabhupada approved various means, sometimes even dubious, but for the purpose of constructing temples, Prabhupada said this is correct. This is proper. This is pleasing to Lord Hari, and personally instructed his disciples to do that. And we hear that as soon as the Vrindavan temple was opened, it's not that, we're done, everyone take rest. No, immediately, like a relay, the baton is passed on. Now we're collecting, let us open the Radha Rasa Bihari temple in Juhu. So one after another. In fact, in 1971, there is a statistic which explains, in 1971, that Srila Prabhupada, he opened more than 33 temples in 1 year. That means major temples all over the world. That means 3 temples every month. That's how enthused Srila Prabhupada was to open temples. So why? Prabhupada mentions here, it will be a great insult. Prabhupada particularly mentioned that I am the guru of the Americans, so the people expect to see a glorious temple. It will be a great insult when you Americans come and open a temple of Radha Krishna and it's a sham, or it's a, what word did Prabhupada use here? It's a, he scoffed. It's an embarrassment. It's an insult. So we can see here Prabhupada's nature. Understanding, following directly in the mood of the style of Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who also was very encouraged and determined and focused on opening temples. Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur opened 64 temples throughout India and adjacent lands, Bangladesh, Burma, Nepal, maybe not Nepal, but Bangladesh and Burma. So Prabhupada, following in the example of his beloved Guru Maharaj, also was very determined. We hear the story that in Sydney in 1972-73, Prabhupada came. He was on the plane, and sitting beside him was Bali Mardan, and Prabhupada was carrying with him Radharani, and his secretary Bali Mardan was carrying Gopinath. That was their hand luggage on the plane, the flight from Singapore to Sydney. Hand luggage. And, of course, in those days, security was a little less developed. So nowadays, you come with big deities, X-ray, they're probably all sorts of surveillance and security checks. We carry deities. Sometimes it's a little go through security, especially when they see these figures like this in the X-ray. So Prabhupada arrived in Sydney, and there were not even any second initiated devotees. Not even any second initiated devotees. There's about 10, 15 devotees. And they'd never seen Prabhupada. The previous year, Umapati and Bali Mardan were there preaching, and they'd started the Sankirtan movement in Australia and made devotees. And Prabhupada had initiated some devotees, and then he came, many of the devotees first time then seen Srila Prabhupada, and he's coming with Srimati Radharani and Gopinathji, and then Prabhupada installed the deities, and then the devotees, and at the same time, the same ceremony, he installed the deities, and he initiated the devotees in the Gayatri Mantra, so that they could worship the deity. They had no idea. about deity worship, about Brahminical, the Archana Marg, the process of deity worship. Now, to become a pujari in the temple in ISKCON, you have to go to a 3-month training program in Mayapur just to learn the details of Archana Marg. They knew nothing. And the next day, Radha and Krishna are on the altar. And then Prabhupada, as he's leaving, he prays to Radha Gopinath, I have left you in the hands of the Malecha Javans. Please accept their worship. Why Prabhupada did this? Why not just the holy name? Because it's very important that in one purport in the Chaitanya Charitamrita where Mahaprabhu is explaining that for the Harinam that Dikha Opekka na kore. Simply by, as we cited some appropriate verses, that Nam hoite hoi sarva jagata nishta, the name of Hari, it has the potency to deliver the entire universe, even the most sinful people. Kirtanad eva Krishnasha mukta sangha parambrje. Just by chanting the holy name, you can attain love of Godhead. So, Dikha Opekka na kore. Love of God, as a result of chanting Harinam, it actually is not dependent upon chanting Gayatri Mantra. It's not dependent. You can get love of Godhead just by taking the holy name. You don't need Gayatri Diksha. But in that purport, Prabhupada's explaining that because of our backgrounds, our past lives, where we're habituated to unclean habits. Just like, for example, you may not know, those of you who are grihastas, that Prabhupada said that you should not even take prasadam back into Lord Hari's kitchen. You should not even take offered food back into Lord Hari's kitchen. Definitely, he writes specifically, don't put prasadam in a refrigerator. The prasadam and the unoffered food must be kept separate, entirely separate. Don't even take prasadam into the kitchen. What to speak of having a kitchen table and sitting in the kitchen and eating? This is contaminated, the whole place. How can you, in that place, that apavitrashtan, how can you prepare boga and offer it to Lord Hari? So the standards are very high. But because we are coming from backgrounds, not just the Mlecha Javan countries, but in India now also, who is following the Brahminical standards? At the meal time, one person is not eating and they're serving the other family members until they're all satisfied, and then that person takes their food. Who is doing that in the families in India today? No one. In fact, there is systematic indoctrination to destroy these values and become like the Americans. And the whole family sit down at the table and we bring all the items and help yourself, Baba. This is Mlecha Javan culture. Unclean. But this is the standard of the people in general. So because of our, it's not prasad seva, that's just eating. Or even they don't sit at the kitchen table. I regularly pass through Calcutta, and there they have the chow mein cooking on the side of the street. Chow mein also popular in Mumbai, is it? They cook on the side of the street. And people are just walking there. They're walking on the street. And they're eating there on the side of the street. They're standing there. They don't even sit down. Even you can go to Delhi airport and you'll see they have these tables. They're like a single column and a round table. There are no chairs. People are so rajasic. There's so much in a mode of passion. They don't even sit down to eat. They just stand there. And now boarding, and they go off. And where can you find water? Look for the bathrooms at the other end of the terminal. Who needs water nowadays? Wipe your hands and go. Not just the Western countries. So the deity worship is so essential because it changes your complete lifestyle. And you see devotees that regularly worship deities, they change their habits. They change their habits. And you cultivate the sattvic, the Brahminical habits, that you're always clean. To go to the bathroom, you'll take your cloth off, wear a gamsha, go in, and see to the call of nature, and then wash yourself, and then come out, and then again put the cloth on. This is just the standard behavior of any trained pujari. They're always clean. At any moment, they can immediately enter the deity room and begin the worship. And this becomes one's natural lifestyle, one's natural default approach and standard. And actually, one gradually becomes attached to the mode of goodness and cleanliness. As Krishna explains in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Yatadagre Bishameva. In the beginning, it's very bitter. It's very bitter to be clean. Pariname amritopamam. But by practicing the regulative principles which surround the archana vidhi, the rules and the regulations of worshipping the deity, one gradually cultivates this lifestyle by following the regulative principles. Then yatadagre bishameva, in the beginning it's like poison. Bathing, keeping clean, the regulations. Pariname amritopamam. But then it becomes like nectar. Atmabhuti prashadajam tat sukham satvikam proktam. The happiness that one enjoys as a result of situating oneself in the mode of goodness is very sweet. It's very nectarian. Rising early, being clean, wearing tilak, wearing clean clothes. One becomes attached to the cleanliness standards because it affects one's consciousness. Prabhupada would explain, clean outside means clean inside. And Prabhupada would also regularly repeat the English aphorism, cleanliness is next to godliness. So without temples, could you imagine if we didn't build the temple here? Just imagine what our society would be like. Just reflect on that for a few moments. We didn't build this temple. We just kept it with the coconut trees and the bushes, and we came and sat down together and chanted Hare Krishna. Probably a vast different result compared to what we have here. The life of the temple life. And the devotees live around the temple, and many devotees live in the temple. Some of our pujaris live very near to the deities. What effect that has on your consciousness. In Mayapur, Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajangari Prabhu, they live just beside Panchatattva. Their rooms are just beside Panchatattva. And such a fortunate lifestyle position. A few years ago at Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja festival in Mayapur, Jananivas Prabhu, he was praying a very simple and very straightforward homage. He said, Prabhupada, when I first came to Krishna consciousness and I saw the pujaris doing the worship, and I thought, oh, what a lifestyle. Constantly associating with God, constantly serving God. The menial servant, all day just looking after the deity. What a lifestyle. I'd love to be a pujari. Jananivas Prabhu was sharing his memories. He was praying, I'd love to be a pujari. This is when he just came to the first time to the temple in Kolkata. I'd love to be a pujari. Then the pujari was Srimati Narayani Mataji. She was our pujari in Kolkata temple. ISKCON's first temple in India. And then just a few weeks later, this is how powerful the Chintamani Dham and what is that? Ye prashade purve, ye prashade pure sharva asha. We sing every morning. What does that mean? Ye prashade, by His mercy, Jai prashade purve means fulfillment. Sarva asha, Jai prashade pure sarva asha. He can fulfill all of the desires. He can fulfill, by His mercy, all of your desires can be fulfilled. So just a few weeks later, Prabhupada was in Mayapur for the festival, and after Jananivas had first come, and Prabhupada was in Mayapur, and then he had Sri Sri Radha Madhav, the deities, the small deities of Sri Sri Radha Madhav, which at that time Prabhupada was traveling with. They were accompanying Srila Prabhupada, and his servants were worshipping. And then when he got to Mayapur, and they had the festival, and the servants were saying to Prabhupada, shall we pack up Sri Sri Radha Madhav, Prabhu, Radha Madhav now, Prabhupada? We're preparing to leave. And Prabhupada said, no, Shri Radha Madhav will stay here in the Bhajan Kutir. In Prabhupada's Bhajan Kutir, Shri Radha Madhav were kept. And Prabhupada called Jananivas Prabhu and said, so now he'd come from Calcutta. He joined in Calcutta. This is in 1970. That's how many years ago? 48 years ago. 48 years. In 1970. And Prabhupada, he'd come for the festival from Calcutta. And Prabhupada said, so, this young boy from England, Jananivas, yeah, you stay here and you worship Sri Sri Radha Madhav. And for 48 years he's been doing that, and he continues today. Srila Prabhupada ki, Jananivas Prabhu ki. So, this is the lifestyle of worshipping the Lord, and the Brahminical lifestyle. And so the temples, yeah, you can imagine how the impact, the effect that the temple has, not only on the consciousness of the devotees, but on attracting the new people, attracting people. If we were all just sitting down on the plastic mats, wearing our kind of lungis, drinking coconuts, chanting Hare Krishna, who would come? Who would come? In fact, at the time of Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the transcendental Vaishnavas, the style was more reclusive. Babaji Vesh. More reclusive. You can read Jaiva Dhamma, Thakur Bhakti Vinod. And Babaji, so to become a Vaishnava meant immediately Babaji initiation. Babaji means not even in the Varnashram Dharma, not even sannyasi. Already liberated, Mukta Purush, Paramahamsa, Babaji. So there's no consideration of social standard behavior. Avadut, completely just living in the consciousness as I'm eternal resident of Vrindavan. But at the time of Thakur Bhaktivinoda, the Vaishnava society was not very much respected by the intelligentsia of Bengal at the time. The Vaishnavas were considered low-class, lazy, loafer, beggar chaps. They didn't understand. Vaishnavera kriya mudra bigyate na bujaya. Of course, this is the disqualification of the common people, that Vaishnavera kriya mudra, the activity and the behavior of a Vaishnava, Vaishnavera kriya mudra bujate, bigyate na bujaya. Even an educated person, bigyate na bujaya, they cannot understand. So in order to address this phenomena, temples are required. One time I was here taking darshan, and there was one devotee, he was there, and I noticed him coming to the temple here. I noticed him every time I would be in the morning, I would see him there taking darshan. And I asked him, oh, how long you've been involved with ISKCON? How long you've been a devotee? And he said, oh, no, I am not a devotee. He said, I am not a devotee. I said, I see you here so often. He said, yeah, I come three times a day. I come for darshan, but I am not a devotee. So many people are attracted. So many people are attracted to see the particularly Sisi Radha Rasa Bihari, most beautiful deities. So many people are attracted to come, just like now. They don't care about the foreigner here who's chit-chatting on the asan. They come to see the Lord. And in this way, Prabhupada understood the situation and the requirement. And he was very much determined to open temples all over the world. And today we're hearing some nice leela about Prabhupada's his extraordinary determination, even under the most unsuitable circumstances, to install the deities of Shri Krishna Balaram, Radhesham Shundra, and Nitai Gaur in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Hare Krishna. Any question? Perhaps we'll skip questions today.
So, okay. So you mentioned in the lecture, Prabhuji, that ideally a Brahman should subsist only on the unsolicited charity and should not ask for it. So let's say there exists such a Brahmana nowadays, and some person goes to that Brahman and takes his services. And the result that comes, and he doesn't give anything to the Brahmana, and he misuses the service in some way. So will that Brahmana get the
Well,
reaction?
two mistakes, to use the English aphorism, two mistakes don't make something correct. So the person who's not giving the dakshina, that's a mistake. But the solution to that is not, okay, you charge them before you offer the service. That's not the solution. The solution is spreading Krishna consciousness, spreading the holy name, distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, and educating society at large on actually what are the proper standards of human civilization according to the Varna and Ashram principles. People require education. In fact, now we're systematically being miseducated to erode, to minimize these traditional civilized standards of Vedic culture. So therefore, Prabhupada, addressing that circumstance, he spent so much effort in writing his transcendental literatures and encouraging his followers to profusely distribute them, because the world is completely miseducated. And they require enlightenment through Prabhupada's transcendental teachings in the form of his books. That is the solution. And in that way, the whole of the society can gradually once again revive the principles of humanity. These are principles of human society and human culture.
It's practical.
Other question? Any other question? Anyone else? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita ki, Sisi Rata Rasa Bihari ki, Shishi Nitai Gauda Pramanandi Hari Hari Bo.
Goes into sleep mode. If you say immediately, तो निकाल बात करेगा. It will not activate. Catch कर रहे हैं